Today, I'm going to do a Shopify store audit on the brand Hydralyte. I'm going to show you everything I like, everything I don't like, and how I would improve their Shopify store. Let's jump into it. Is your store on Shopify? If you'd like me to do an audit similar to the one we're doing today, click the link in the top line of the description. All right, so like I said, we're gonna hop in here and we're actually gonna look at Hydralyte's website, their Shopify store, and we're just gonna go through some of the things I like, some of the things I don't like, and then how I would make some improvements on their store. I haven't reviewed this in any way. I haven't even really taken any notes on it. I just wanted to jump right in and give you my honest feedback just by looking at their Shopify store. All right, so obviously we land here on the homepage and we have a really nice visual to start with, which is always great, pretty standard. I also do like that we have this nice mega menu with a nice different color to bring you straight into the shop. Whenever I'm doing a Shopify audit, there's 3 pages I always look at first. That's the homepage, the collection page, and the product page. So if we continue down this home page, I like that we have a sticky header. That's always great so that people can always navigate the site regardless of where they are on the home page. They go straight into describing exactly what the product is. That's beneficial. Yeah, perfect. Bestsellers. You always want to push that as high up as possible. So people landing on your site, they can immediately know, okay, I was recommended this product. Here's what more than likely the person recommended, because the bestsellers are right up front. As you continue to go down, you get some more information. I probably would change this visual a little bit because you're losing the 30-day satisfaction in the imagery. And now they're going into the comparison chart, which again is great. This is all stuff I would recommend. Social proof with featured in. I think this is all fantastic stuff. And a continued social proof through reviews left by their customers. Again, continuing the social proof, we have some science behind it, doctors. This looks like a bit of a stock image, so I'd probably recommend a different visual. But other than that, it's pretty good. So yeah, that's a decent homepage. I do notice we have a rewards button here, which is, to me, it looks like smile.io, which is a good app. I do recommend that application. It does seem like, yeah, we're hiding a scroll to the top button behind that rewards, which I would probably move this icon over a little bit so that we're not conflicting with different applications and different features. Then we have this review app, which, okay, is done by Yotpo, which again, pretty decent. Then, of course, as I'm going through the Shopify audit, I don't just look at the site from a desktop point of view, but I also want to try to view it from a mobile device type view. And again, as expected, this is a responsive site, so it has all the same features laid out in a very nice way. This chart, the only thing I would recommend is keeping the first column static so you can see it across the board, but not a huge deal. You have your social proof, science. So yeah, this is a good homepage. I would say it's better than 90% of the homepages that I see. So now if we get back to the desktop view, again, the next page I go into is the collection pages. So for example, we'll go into powder sticks. Okay, so this is a pretty standard collection page. Typically, in my experience, I like to try to use collection pages that actually have a little more information, especially for a brand like this. So as you can see, you have these different options with your powder sticks, your tablets, and your RTDs and bundles. So in my experience, I would typically try to provide a little more information on why you would go for this specific collection over something else. So, you know, whether it's ease of travel or value, regardless, it's nice to have some added information on the collection page. And the reason that's so important is because when you're doing advertising, if you don't necessarily want to send a customer to a specific product page, you just want to send them to a group of products. If you don't have a landing page, it's really nice to have a built out collection page where you can actually send users to, and they can easily get all the information they need on the collection page and have access to multiple different products. So yeah, again, I would go into a mobile type view. And again, responsive design. So everything seems pretty standard here. We still can access the filters, which is great. So everything we need is right there. So next I would go into the product page and kind of get an idea of what this looks like. So it seems like we have pretty decent product page, some good visuals, great representation for changing the flavors. That's a nice touch. Not too much product information up top, which is a little unfortunate, especially I'm presuming when we get into a mobile view that's going to be more problematic. Another issue is you typically want to try to have the add to cart button or the buy now button above the fold, which simply means no user has to actually scroll to be able to get to the add to cart. As we scroll down here, we have more product information, which is great. And again, similar to the collection pages, the reason I think product pages are so important is because most of the time, this is where you're going to be sending any user that's looking to convert on the product. So as much information as possible that you can put on a product page is really beneficial. So they don't have to leave the product page to get that information. So yeah, it seems like we have a good amount of information here about the product. Probably addressing the fact why they're not zero sugar, which is probably something that isn't beneficial to them in the competitive marketplace. And then just some statistics and other information. And this is good too. You always want related products, which is important. And then the reviews I would probably push up a little more just because you want that social proof higher up. I get why they probably didn't do that because it's a pretty decent sized section. But it's always beneficial to have that information further up, but it obviously does have the reviews and the quantity, and it's good. You click to it and it immediately brings you down to that element, which is important. So next I would just drop into the mobile view, and yeah, again, this is okay. It's not terrible, but having to scroll that far to add to the cart is not the most ideal scenario. I did also just notice that they default to subscribe and save, which is probably a smart move on their part. This is definitely a product that if people like it, they're gonna want it on a regular basis. So defaulting to that with the discount is definitely beneficial. And then also the buy with Prime is an interesting touch. I typically recommend for most brands to keep Amazon sales and Shopify sales separate, depending on their setup. But I do understand why brands do this, and it can be beneficial. And again, just like the rest of the site, very responsive. So all the information is here in a mobile form just as much as it is in a desktop, which is fantastic. So now that we looked at the pages of the site, what I typically will go into is what applications they're using. So I use this Chrome extension just to see the apps that they're currently using. And like I said, the rewards section down here is through smile.io. We have Yapo for the reviews on the site, and then they're using Klaviyo for email and more than likely SMS. So the next step I would take is try to get a better understanding of the checkout process. More clicks equals less sales. So it's really important that you have a very smooth checkout process and you incorporate certain features that will really benefit you. So we'll jump in here and we'll go into shop, into the sticks, and we'll just say this product, and we'll just do a one-time order just to make things simple. So we'll add it to cart. Okay, so they do have a pop-up cart, which again, I either recommend a slide cart or a pop-up cart just so you keep every user on the product page. And it seems like we have the ability to put a discount code in, which is great. And they're also obviously upselling over here on the right, which again is a fantastic feature. I highly recommend this to anyone. The only thing I don't see in here is a free shipping bar. I do think it would be beneficial for them to incorporate something like that so that consumers know when they can receive free shipping. And to be honest, if you include a free shipping bar, it'll benefit this section over here for the upsell, because people are more likely to either increase the quantity of the existing item in their cart or add an item to their cart because they want to hit that free shipping threshold. So I always recommend that. So let's just continue through this checkout process. Okay, and we go directly to checkout. It does seem like they haven't incorporated the one-page checkout on Shopify, which I would recommend. It's somewhat of a new feature, but it's extremely beneficial. You can add a lot of elements like upsells and different applications, which are really beneficial. But overall, I think this is a bare bones, straight to the point checkout process, and it works well. So definitely pretty decent, but I would include that free shipping bar within the cart. And lastly, what I always like to do with any Shopify store audit is if there's any pop-ups that come up, I always put in an email address and a phone number to be able to see exactly how they handle these pop-ups and their marketing information, not just initially, but typically a couple days down the road. So obviously right here, we have an email, the welcome email that I signed up through the pop-up. It says more electrolytes, less sugar. Welcome to the family, 20% off your first order with a unique coupon code and the option to shop now, which is great. The only thing is I will typically also check to see if it automatically applies that coupon code no. So unfortunately with this, they're not incorporating an auto apply link, which I always recommend. So when somebody actually clicks that link and ends up on the site, it automatically adds a coupon code. That's a very simple thing to add to a Shopify store, and it's hugely beneficial. The other thing to mention is I did sign up via SMS for marketing as well, and I've yet to receive the SMS message yet, which is interesting. So there's a little bit of a delay on that. I gave it a little time and I still didn't see anything come through. So clearly there's some issue going on there. And that's it. That's the typical Shopify audit that I'll perform on any Shopify store before I actually have access to the dashboard within Shopify. So I'll always go through, look at that home page, look at the collection pages, look at the product pages, get a better understanding of what the customer journey is like, what are the functions and features they have, what are the apps that they're using, and then try to get a better understanding of what their welcome series is like through email and SMS. So I hope you found this video valuable. And if you're interested in learning more about Shopify audits, how I perform them, and how I'm going to perform them on other brands, I highly encourage you to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next video. I'll see you then.